Those of you who grew up with family pets that have since died. How often do you think about that pet, and what are the feelings that show up when you do? Regret. I always think back to how I should have treated them better. He's been gone for about 4 years now. He was a 19-year-old-ish cat. Older than me when he died. Seizure took him out. Every time I pick up the prints from the vet that they took of his paws, and every time I run my fingers across his urn with the little metal paw prints on it, I say, "Hey Charlie. I'm glad you're home." Sometimes I put his urn on the windowsill when it's sunny so he can watch the birds and sunbathe. I think it's a good way to honor his memory. I think about him at least once a week, sometimes more often. It doesn't make me cry too much anymore. But I will still tear up when our dog, a puppy when Charlie was in his prime, comes and sits with me while I hold his urn. I know she knows that he's gone. I wonder often what she thinks. I wonder often if she knows he's in that urn. I'm 29, and our family dog, my mom's dog, just died, and we had her since 2009. I was a sophomore in high school. She's seen me go to prom, dances, graduation, coming home or sneaking out for parties. She always had my back. Leave for college, picked me up at airports. She was there on my 21st birthday. My first new car I saved for. My first career job relocation when I moved back home. She's seen me cry and my emotional roller coaster for my whole 20s. I can be gone for months and months and she will still remember me and chill like I never left for 3 seconds. She saw all our family issues, fights and problems behind closed doors, and she was very strong with a big heart. She loved everyone. She knew everything that was going on. What time it was, but like you knew that she knew she can only do so much because she was not a person. She tried her best to hang on with us. She didn't want to go, but she was hurting and my mom just decided to put her to rest. The biggest emotional phone call ever recently. Wish she made it to my 30th birthday party coming up. But she's now resting. I'm going to have her ashes out on the table at my birthday so she can hang out with me. Heart. Periodically, I mostly feel the remembrance of happy memories, not sadness that they're gone. I'm 57 years old. If I tell the story about my dog dying when I was 12, to this day, I still tear up 3 to 4 times a week. My cat would always fall asleep with his nose on my chin when I went to bed. Sadness is some of the feelings, but also gratefulness. Knowing that I gave him a great life and he rewarded me by making me more affectionate. When my family moved to downtown Macon, we adopted a dog my dad named York, named after Tom York from Radiohead. He watched us grow up and helped us in our hardest moments. He greeted us when we got home from school, and was always loyal to us. After 5 years of having him, we arrived home one day. Our dad met us at the door on the verge of tears. We asked what's wrong and he told us the news. Apparently while walking him, he got off of his leash and was hit and killed by a truck in the road. We cried for hours. However, I could tell my dad was the most hurt. To this day when I think of him, I feel grateful for the many memories he gave us during those 5 years. I miss you, York, and hope you're in a better place. Occasionally, I'll never own another pet because I can't fathom going through that loss again. I had a dog that followed me everywhere I went. It was like something out of a movie. The older I get, the more I realize how special he actually was. My mom and I were just talking about this. We were talking about our old dog Hannah that my parents adopted as protection for my mom, who stayed home with me and myself. We lived in a bad neighborhood but could afford the house BC my uncle owned it. The number of times she alerted my parents to people with guns outside. Edit. I was under 5. She used to be my password. So it was all the time. But because of the need to change passwords more often, now she's only the password to a couple of sites. So not as often. She's been dead for 15 years. I remember her fondly. I miss the dogs we've had. But time dulls emotions and there are so many distractions in life that keep your mind off them. If you are about to lose a pet for whatever reason, you have my sympathy. Console yourself by knowing that you gave them a good life, and that all people inevitably experience that loss of either a pet or a family member. It's demanding that all humans go through. Think about both of my childhood cats every day. They've been gone a long while. There's always that tinge of sadness. But I remind myself that they lived long lives and never wanted for anything. I'm fortunate enough to have videos of them saved and backed up a ridiculous amount of times. I'll never have to worry about forgetting their meows or purrs. My only pet, the same way Viserys thought of Rhaenyra as his only child. When I'm reminded of him, he was a very good dog. They were good pets and I enjoyed the company they brought. And lived a good loved life. I might miss spending time with them but it is part of life and I rarely think about them. And when I do it is normally fond memories of good times and good thoughts.